I just need you guys to know that I started reading this morning, and I'm not even kidding. I didn't even want to film today because all I want to do is read this. Pick it up. Hey guys, what's up? It's Belle. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, and if you've come back, thank you so much. Today, you guys, it is finally time to do our November TBR, which is honestly so insane. I cannot believe there are only 2 months left of this year. I am filming this a little bit before the end of November because I got a few things coming up, hence why I haven't flicked over to the Christmas decor yet, but don't worry, besties. It will be coming soon. So today, you guys, for the TBR, I thought we would go through and do some TBR prompts, but this one's an extra special one because I actually got you guys to go over on my Instagram and let me know of some of your favorite TBR prompts or TBR prompts that you used in the past. So these are all of your lovely little prompts that I've put in here today, which is super exciting. Also, can we take a moment for the shirt? If you guys have read When the Moon Hatched, you will understand this little shirt here. I just thought it would be really cute and fun to show you guys that. So, you know the drill, guys. Let's get comfy, let's get cozy, and let's get right on into the video. Okay, so before we get into picking out of the jar, I do have a couple of books this month that I have on my radar because they are new releases. So the 3 books that I have that I know I'm going to add to the TBR outside of the prompts are Lost and Lassoed by Lila Sage. This is the 3rd book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. I am so excited to read this book. I think out of all the couples so far that have been like hinted at for this series, Teddy and Wes are like, oh my god, I'm so excited for them. It's not even a joke. I just like need their story like I need air to breathe. And I have been absolutely loving Cowboy lately. I've been loving it since last year, but you know, it really is my like tried and true. If I ever feel like I'm slipping into a reading slump, I go for the Cowboy. So that will be in my hands on the 5th of November. And what will also be in my shopping cart on the 5th of November is Hexed by Emily McIntyre. This is the 5th and I believe final book in the Never After series. This is a standalone series, but it's all about like twisted reimaginings of our favorite fairy tales. So this one here is The Little Mermaid, and it is so beautiful for starters, but I'm just so excited to get my hands on it because The Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast are my 2 favorite Disney movies of all time. So I was so excited when I found out that we were doing a Little Mermaid one, and I just know Emily's gonna eat it up. The 3rd book that I have on my radar is The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. This is by Carissa Broadbent. It is the 3rd book in the Crowns of Nyaxia series, and it's the beginning of a new duet within that series. If you've read this series, you know that it's gonna be a total of 6 books, but there are 3 duets within this series, if that makes sense. So this is the start of a new one. I'm so excited for the characters in this one too because we sort of got to know her in the first 2 books, and I can't believe how much I ended up loving Serpent and the Wings of Night and all that as well. So super excited for those. All right. That's all my pre-selected. Let's pull some of these bad boys out, hey? I kind of have to laugh because I made this TBR jar and it has like all my romance books in it, like my romance books that I haven't read yet. I pulled them all out so that I could put my prompts in here because I think this is a better use of the jar. Let's be real. It does say TBR on it. I don't know if you can see it, but my apologies. Anyway, how many should we pull? Should we maybe aim for like 6 and then see how I feel? I think that's achievable. So let's do 9. I like a bit of an odd number. I'm so excited. I haven't done one of these in such a long time. So the prompt says, oh my god, funnily enough, a book set during Christmas. I wasn't sure that I was going to get this one for this month, which is really funny, but I do want to start reading Christmassy books in November. I know a lot of people strictly save it for like December, but I think there is so much Christmas material that I save for this time of the year that 1 month is just not enough time to consume all of that. So I think I've got a book in mind. I'm going to go over to my seasonal shelf, which is in that corner, by the way. All of my TBR are actually on that part of my room and across the room there. So in front of me that I'm looking at directly is like my romantasy dark romance shelf. Then we got romance in the far corner, and then this pretty one here is just like a bit of whatever, like series and whatever. So I'm gonna go over to my shelf and I'll bring over some options, but I think I know which one I want to read for this. Okay, so I've got 2 books here. The first one that I have is Love Light Farms. This is by B.K. Borison. I've had this one sitting around for a really, really, really long time and I've been saving it for Christmas. However, the other day I just picked up the Christmas Fix by Lucy Score, and I've never heard anything about this book before. I think I've only read 1 book by Lucy Score in the past, but when I read the back of this book, you guys, I had to get it because it has my favorite trope ever, which is a single parent trope. I'll just read you guys the back because I think this will be my pick for this prompt. It says, single dad Noah takes his responsibilities seriously. When a late season hurricane turns merry Connecticut into a disaster, he's left scrambling to pick up the pieces of the town he loves. That is, at least, until home renovation expert and smoking hot reality TV star Catalina King arrives with a camera crew and a big budget. But Noah doesn't want a celebrity diva capitalizing on their tragedy or filling his daughter's head with visions of glitz and glam. They can't be in a room together without rubbing each other up the wrong way, except that time in the dark alley where the rubbing was just right. Can these enemies work together to pull off a Christmas miracle, or will their fighting leave them both on the naughty list? I just think that sounds so cute. I've been wanting to sort of get to this soon, and I think it'll be a nice Kickstarter into the holiday season. So I think for prompt number 1, we're gonna go with The Christmas Fix by Lucy Score. Alrighty, let's do prompt number 2. This one says, a book you think you'll give 5 stars. Ooh. So many. I just did a video over on my TikTok, if you guys don't follow me over there, where I did my like 10 before the end. So the 10 books that I want to read before the end of 2024, which I know could be really ambitious considering, you know, it's November already. But a lot of those books on that list were contenders, and I think I know they're going to be 5 stars. So I have a few in mind. I will go and grab them and we'll chat about them together. Okay, so as I said, I've got a few options for this here, so I might just run through the 3 that I have. I'll start off with the big boy because I think this is the book, other than, you know, finishing Throne of Glass, that I get yelled at to read the most, and people want my opinions on it, want me to read it so badly. So Binding 13 is a massive one, and it's definitely one that I need to finish before the end of this year. 2, I know that, you know, it's going to destroy me. And 3, I just know in my gut that I'm going to give it 5 stars. It's just one that I've been putting off because it is so big, but I also just know it's going to take a piece of me, and I feel like I'm going to become hyperfixated. This one is just so wildly loved, and yeah, I just know y'all would be really happy if I read this, but I also would be truly happy if I read this. So that's number 1. I've got You With a View by Jessica Joyce. This is sort of a new one this year that the people that I have seen actually like read it have given it 5 stars. Like everybody has given this book 5 stars that has read it. It's not incredibly popular, but I feel like maybe it's one that just needs to happen. So that's another option. And then of course I want to start the Abby Jimenez universe, and I want to read Part of Your World. I know and have a feeling that this is going to be 5 stars, as well as yours truly. I have that on my shelf, but obviously I've got to read this one first before I read that one. So yeah, what do we think? It's either Binding 13 or Part of Your World, I think. Part of Your World says, after a wild bet, Alexis Montgomery has had her world turned upside down. The cause? Daniel Grant, a ridiculously hot carpenter who's 10 years younger than her and as casual as they come. The complete opposite of sophisticated city girl Alexis, and yet their chemistry is undeniable. While her ultra-wealthy parents want her to carry on the family legacy of world-renowned surgeons, Alexis doesn't need fame or glory. She's fine with being a mere ER doctor, and every minute she spends with Daniel and the tight-knit town where he lives, she's discovering what's really important. Bringing Daniel into her world is impossible, and yet she can't give up the joy she's found with him either. With so many differences between them, how can Alexis possibly choose between her world and his? So that's that one. And then of course, Binding 13 says, when two worlds collide, nothing will ever be the same again. Johnny Kavanagh has everything going for him. Primed for stardom, on the rugby pitch, he's a force to be reckoned with. Nothing will stop him hitting the heights. Not even the shy new girl at Toman College. With sad eyes and hidden bruises, the one that distracts him as no one ever has. Life has never been easy for Shannon Lynch. She arrives at the prestigious private school praying for a fresh start, desperate to shake off the demons that plague her. On her very first day, she encounters the notorious Johnny Kavanagh. Instantly drawn to him, Shannon finds herself once again the target of bullies as she forms a fragile alliance with rugby's rising star. But as they fall into a complicated friendship and grapple with their undeniable chemistry, Johnny and Shannon cannot foresee the obstacles that will threaten their blossoming relationship. I think I'm gonna go with this. I think it's time to tackle it. It's a big boy, but I feel like this is going to be the one, and it's going to be a 5 star. I've heard it's all going to be heartbreak and devastating. So for a book that I think is going to be 5 stars, we've gone with Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. Alrighty, prompt number 3. Let's pick one from the outside. Okay. This prompt is a book with a great first line. Ooh, so I'm gonna have to do some scouting. That's so interesting. So I might get like a little bit of a peek into what the book is like. Because, you know, most of us will read the back of a book and be like, oh yeah, that's great, I want to read that. But none of us are brave enough to open the first line and say, that's a great first line, let me read that. Maybe I should pull something from fantasy and romance. So I've got a couple options and we can pick them together. Let's do that. All right, I found 3 books that have really, really cool opening lines, and I don't know which one to go with. So, first one that I have is The Games Gods Play, which is by Abigail Owen. This is a new one this year, and it's been slowly building a lot of popularity, especially over on TikTok. It's definitely, like, again, more of a romantasy vibe. I'm just gonna tell you the first line of this. It's in the prologue, which is hilarious. I don't even think I can say it on here without getting in trouble, but I'm just gonna blur it out. In the preface, it says, F the gods. That's the first line. F the gods, which I think is so cool. Like that's a way to rope you in. Like that's the opening line for that one. So the first line of that is F the gods. Then I've got King of Sloth by Anna Huang. This is like the only book by her I haven't read yet, and the only release from this year. Like I read The Striker, loved The Striker. I just, for some reason, this one just slipped through my radar this year, and I didn't get around to reading this when it came out. And I love the Kings of Sin series. I love the Twisted series, but the opening line, oh, there's like artwork in this. How cute. This is part of her Billionaire series, The Kings of Sin. So the first line is, breaking into a $10,000 a night Greek villa hadn't been my plans for the day, but plans changed and people adapted, especially when they had clients who insisted on making their lives as difficult as possible. Which I thought was cute too, because, you know, who the heck's breaking? I want to know about why she's breaking into a mansion, you know? So there's that one. And this one, I don't know, this one might be my favorite. This one might be my favorite. This says, I've effed up. Boy howdy have I effed all the way up. Boy howdy have I effed all the way up. That's so good. That's so good. Come on. Oh, I think it's between these two, but this is calling my name. This was also on my 10 before the end. I do want to read this though. No, we have to do this. So this is Cross the Line by Simone Sultani. This is a F1 sports romance. I'm pretty sure it's brother's best friend or best friend sister, same thing, right? So the back says, in the wake of a social media fiasco, F1 driver Dev Anderson's career is on the line. He needs help to save his image, and fast. At a party in Monaco, he bumps into the woman who could potentially fix it all. There's just one problem, she's his best friend's little sister. And okay, maybe there's another problem. He kissed her last year and hasn't been able to stop thinking about her since. Macaron-loving, sweet-talking, social media extraordinaire Willow Williams needs some work experience to bag the job of her dreams. So when Dev offers her a temporary solution, she can't help but say yes, even if it means ignoring the crush she's had on him since childhood. Willow and Dev are determined to keep their things strictly professional despite the blazing chemistry between them. But in the glittering high-stakes world of Formula One, some lines are meant to be crossed. Oh, come on. This is the one. Okay, this is the one. So prompt number, what is this? Prompt number 3, a book. What is the prompt? A book with a great first line. This one. Cross the Line by Simone Sultani. Prompt number 4. Okay, looks like it's this one. Okay, this is a book that is more than 500 pages. I could do The Games Gods Play, that was 503 pages, but I want to see what else I have lying around. I mean, look, I could have done that for Binding 13, couldn't I? Because Binding 13 is like 700 pages. What do you have to say? I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to read it, I promise. Okay, let me have a look and I'll bring back some options. So I brought 2 more options over. So the first one I have is Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. This one is 505. Yep, 505 pages. This one I know is going to be an emotional romance. It's also a sports romance. So let's read the back together. It says, she kissed the prince and he turned into a fraud. Now her fairy tale is upside down. Iris Dupree meets August West in a sports bar during her last semester of college. It's the conversation of a lifetime and sends sparks flying in every direction. The connection is undeniable, but the timing is all wrong. August is poised to play for the NBA draft and Iris belongs to another man, basketball's golden boy and August's longtime rival. The two go their separate ways, but then often recall that electric night and what could have been. Whilst August embarked on his all-star life, sudden with wealth and fame, Iris's perfect public relationship has become a nightmare behind closed doors, a tarnished dream of fool's gold. When August re-enters her life, the world seems briefly bright again, but Iris's darkest nights are not yet over. To survive, she must build her own strength and trust that her bond with August can endure after all this time, even when her fraudulent prince has vowed to never let her go. This sort of reminds me a little bit of a love letter to whiskey, like wrong person, right person, wrong time sort of thing, but that's that one. And then I have All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. I read The Wall of Winnipeg and Me last year and I loved that, and I've been itching to read another book by her. This was also on my list of 10 before the ends. So let's read the back. This says, Losing people you love is hard. Aurora de la Torre knows moving back to a place that was once home isn't going to be easy. Starting your whole life over probably isn't supposed to be, but a small town in the mountains might be the perfect remedy for a broken heart. Checking out her landlord across the driveway might just cure it too. So I know that this is also supposed to be like a single mum sort of thing, or single parent, correct me if I'm wrong. So this is going to give me like small town romance, whereas this is going to be more right person, wrong time, emotional romance, bit of drama sort of thing. And then of course, what do you reckon? Should I just like throw them behind my back and just like mix them up and hope for the best? And I'll just like see which one ends up being whatever. Okay. Long shot. Okay, so we're adding long shot to the TBR for a book over 500 pages. All right, what are we up to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Prompt number 5. Prompt number 5 is a book with a one-word title. Okay, that's gonna be hard. A book with a one-word title. I can literally only see one right now, so I'm gonna go grab it, but if I see anything else outside of that, I'll bring it back as well. Funnily enough, these two books were like stacked behind each other, like unknowingly. So the first one that I have is Throttled by Lauren Asher. Now this was also on my list of 10 before the end, and I've had this for a long time, and this is sort of a funny story one because one, I want to read it because it's Lauren Asher and I've loved everything else that I've read by her so far. I've read like all the Dreamland Billionaires, Lakefront Billionaires, but I just haven't read Dirty Air yet. And this is the indie version, and some of you may be aware that these are now being traditionally published. And that means that our indie versions are going to start disappearing, or the prices are just going to go through the roof. So I want to read this one because, you know, I want to be on top of it. I want to be in the know, but I also want to read it in case I do end up loving it and want to buy the rest of the series in the indie versions before they get trad published, or I'll just end up buying all the traditional published instead. So we'll see. This is a sports romance F1 romance series, I believe. So the back says, Maya. Noah Slade is a Formula One legend in the making, focused, unapproachable, ruthless on and off the track, a man with walls higher than the Grand Canyon, and my brother's new teammate, very similar to Cross the Line, funnily enough. I want more of the prince who disguises himself as the villain, but while I crave a happy ending, he wants to destroy his. Destructive personality triggered. Anyways, Noah. Maya Altorre is a forbidden temptation, an ambitious post-grad I should stay far away from, and chaos wrapped with a bow. We're a ticking time bomb, about one wrong move away from exploding. I want to trip the wire, detonating everything in passion and pain, because in the end, all's fair in lust and war. This is similar to Cross the Line, so I don't know if I'm gonna add this to the TBR this month. I feel like I can't read too many, like, if I were to read 2 sports romances in a month, they need to be 2 separate sports. I feel like if I read 2 Formula Ones, I don't know. Do you guys feel me? And the second option that I have is Taste by Melanie Harlow. I read Ignite by her last year and I loved that. That was a single dad firefighter romance. So good. This one is Taste. What is the name of this series? Is it like Cloverleaf Farms or something? I need to Google it, sorry guys. Cloverleaf Farms. But I think this is like the second generation in that thing. Anyways, doesn't matter. Pretty sure this is about a chef and could be accidental pregnancy, which I love. This says the last person I want to be stranded with is Gianni Lupo. But thanks to the blizzard of the century, I'm trapped in a roadside motel room with that cocky B word for 2 straight days with 1 small bed. Some women might thank Mother Nature for delivering a polar vortex that maroons them with 6 feet of solid muscle. Those deep blue eyes, that sexy grin, but not me. I've known Gianni my whole life. He's never brought me anything but bad luck and trouble. So when the tension between us explodes with enough fiery heat to melt my icy defenses, I should have known what the disastrous end result would be. A big, fat plus sign. After the snow melts, I'm left with more than just memories of the night we spent keeping each other warm. And he might be a rising star on the culinary scene, but he's got no idea how to handle this burn in... I'm already picking this one. I just need you guys to... okay, listen to this. He might be a rising star on the culinary scene, but he's got no idea how to handle this bun in the oven. He says he wants to do the right thing, but I'm not about to spend the rest of my life feeling like someone settled for me. But just when I think I've got Gianni Lupo all figured out, he gives me a taste of the man he could be, of the family we could become, of the way he could love me if I let him. I'm terrified of falling for him, but one taste might be all it takes. I have to pick this one, guys. This is too good. I love the accidental pregnancy trope when it's done at the beginning of the book and when it's put on the back. The only time I don't like accidental pregnancy is when it's like dropped in the last minute of the book. That annoys me. Like as a conflict device, hate it. This is going on. This is going on. So for a book with one word in the title, we got Taste by Melanie Harlow. Sorry, that sent me up a tree. I love it. I've decided I'm going to pick 7 prompts, not 5. No. Yeah, I'm going to pick 8 prompts instead of 6 because that's fun. So anyway, prompt number 6. Will I read all these books? Absolutely not, but at least I got a selection. So prompt number 6 is a book with your favorite trope in it. Eee! This is a good one. So many, guys. So for those who didn't see my talking through every single romance book trope video, I'll link it up here and in the description. But basically in that video, I was talking about like every single trope basically that exists as a plot device in a romance book. And I said that my like top 3 romance tropes are marriage of convenience, single dad, if it's cowboy, even better, and bodyguard. So those 3 are my like top 3 tropes. Anything cowboy I'll eat up with a silver spoon, but yeah, so single dad, marriage of convenience, or bodyguard. So I can't even think of any off the top of my head that are gonna be that. Let me have a look. Where's my phone? Let me go on TikTok. I want some good marriage of convenience book recommendations because I haven't read a marriage of convenience in such a long time. Larry's got me. So good. Okay, I'm gonna look around, you guys, and I'll be back. I'm back and I have 2 recs again. 2 choices again this time. One's a dark romance and one is just a standard romance, okay? So the first one that I found when I was doing my little research there was actually Leather and Lark. This is by Brynne Weaver. I don't know what this series is called. It's the one after Butcher and Blackbird. Do you have a name? I'm scared. The Ruinous Love Trilogy. So I assume there's gonna be another one. This is book number 2, and this is also supposed to be a marriage of convenience. I thought that Butcher and Blackbird was okay. I just like really cringed out at like the way the Spice was written. You guys know I love Spice, but sometimes Spice can be written really cringy. I just thought that one was cringe as. So I gave it like a 4-star, but then I found out that this was a marriage of convenience. So let's read the back. This says, every killer claims a soul, every phantom wants revenge. All contract killer Lachlan Kane wants is a quiet life. But when he botches a job for his boss, Lachlan knows he'll never claw his way out of the underworld. At least not until Lark Montague offers him a deal. The catch? He has to marry her and they can't stand each other. Oh, I love this when it's clinked together as like enemies to lovers or like rivals to lovers with marriage of convenience. Anyways, Lark may seem like sunshine personified, but she has her own secrets hiding in the shadows. With her family in a tailspin and her best friend's happiness on the line, she makes a vow to a man she's determined to hate, no matter how tempting the brooding assassin might be. But it's not just familiar dangers that haunt them. There's another phantom lurking on their doorstep, and this one has come for blood. I'm super intrigued to read this because I've seen people either give this 5 stars or some people give it 2 stars. Which is kind of crazy. So that's option number 1. And option number 2 I have is The Nanny, which encompasses another one of my favorite tropes, which is not only just single dad, but it's single dad and the nanny, which I love. So this one says, suddenly unemployed Cassie has 2 options: get a new job and fast, or fire up her long untouched Only Schmans account. When she spots an ad for a live-in nanny position, it seems like the solution to all of her problems. But Aidan Reed, executive chef and DILF extraordinaire, is far from the stuffy single dad Cassie was imagining. With those hands and eyes, such close proximity feels dangerous. With no other option, she takes the job and moves in with him and his adorably tenacious teenager, Sophie. Cassie soon discovers that Aidan is not a stranger at all. Instead, he's someone who is very familiar with her, or at least her body. Given that he doesn't remember her, Cassie is faced with what feels like an impossible situation. As their relationship heats up, Cassie struggles with telling Aidan the truth and, the more terrifying possibility, losing the best chance at happiness she's ever had. What do we think? I'm tempted to do The Nanny, but like, this is good too. I think I'm gonna read this. So, for a book with your favorite trope, I've gone with The Nanny by Lana Ferguson. 2 more. Two more, two more, two more. My hair, guys, it's so hot today and my hair is just not lasting. Thank you guys for all these prompts, by the way. I love them. Okay. Prompt number 7 is a book with a place in the title. So I'm assuming this means like a city or a state or a country or something. A book with a place in the title. Gosh, if I hadn't read The Wall of Winnipeg in me, I could have read that. Let's have a look and I'll bring back the options. I only found one book that had a place in the title, and like this is, I don't even know if this is a real place, this is just a made up place, but because I've read the first book in this series, I know that this is a place within these books. Anyways, I have Juniper Hill by Devney Perry. I just want to say this really quickly, guys. I was so lucky the other day to receive a copy of Crossroads by Devney Perry. I got sent by Devney herself. You guys should have seen my face when I opened my DMs, right? She sent me a copy of Crossroads, which is her like newest small town romance series. And I read this so fast. It was so addictive. Look at these beautiful spread edges. I love her writing. I've only ever read this and Indigo Ridge, which is the first book in the Eden series. And I just love how she writes. She just knows how to write small town. Anyways, that being said, this is book number 2 in the Eden series. It's called Juniper Hill, which is a place in the Eden's world, okay? So this says, Memphis Ward arrives in Quincy, Montana on the 5th worst day of her life. Memphis needs a shower, she needs a snack, she needs some sanity, because moving across the country with her newborn baby is by far the craziest thing she's ever done. But maybe it takes a little crazy to build a good life. If putting the past behind her requires 1,000 miles and a new town, even if it requires working as a housekeeper at the Eloise Inn. It's there on the 5th worst day of her life that she meets the handsomest man she's ever laid eyes on. Knox Eden is a beautiful, sinful dream. With his sharp stubbled jaw and tattooed arms, he's raw and rugged and everything she's never had and never will. Because after the first worst day of her life, Memphis learned a man like Knox Eden will only ever be a dream. So I think we're gonna have to go with this. I've been wanting to continue on with this series for a long time, and also once I finish this, I can buy the rest of the series. That's the rule I've left myself, and yeah, I'm so excited. Small town, single parent. So for a book with a place in the title, we've got Juniper Hill by Devney Perry. This is shaping up to be a really nice selection of books, you guys. I'm like very happy with the selection. Our 8th and final prompt. Let's get a good one. I know there's some good ones in here that I'm really sad I haven't gotten to. Okay. A book that starts with a random letter. Ask Siri. Okay. So I guess this means like just get Siri to give me a random letter. Hey Siri, give me a random letter. T. She has picked T, which I guess sort of is quite broad because you've got books that start with like this. I don't know. Let me find some books that start with T and I'll be back. Okay, so I didn't have any books that specifically started with the letter T that didn't start with the word the. Like, you know how I just had taste before? Like, I didn't have any more books that started with just the letter T, you know, without the before. So the only 2 that I had with the was The Art of Catching Feelings. This is by Alicia Thompson, I believe. Yeah, this is a baseball sports romance. I've been wanting to read this for a while. This one says, a professional baseball player and his heckler prove that true love is worth going to bat for. Daphne Brink doesn't follow baseball, but going to the game beats sitting at home alone after signing her divorce papers. After one too many ballpark beers, she heckles a player who proves there might be a little crying in baseball. Horrified, Daphne reaches out to him on social media but forgets to identify herself as his heckler. Chris Kepler doesn't usually respond to messages from random fans. But when a DM from Ducky catches his eye, he impulsively messages back. Ducky is sweet, funny, and seems to understand him in a way no one else does. Daphne isn't sure how much longer she can keep lying to Chris, especially as she starts working with the team in real life, and their feelings for each other deepen. When he finds out the truth, will it be 3 strikes? She's out. This one is interesting to me. I feel like there's going to be a nice little miscommunication trope, which I despise. Anyway, the next one we have is The Partner Plot, and this is by Christina Forrest. Now, if you can see this gorgeous cover, you can see that this is going to be a waking up in Vegas married or a drunk Vegas marriage, which is another, this is in my top 5 tropes. I truly feel it in my gut. Waking up in Vegas drunk, waking up in Vegas married, whatever. Drunk, married, you get it. So this says, Violet's career might be flourishing, but her life is in shambles. After surviving a public breakup with her ex-fiance, Violet is now determined to focus on her career, but the universe has other ideas. Xavier Wright did not expect to run into his high school girlfriend on a trip to Vegas. But in a bid to laugh it off, they decide to celebrate together. The two party the night away without a care in the world. That is until the next morning when they wake up next to one another with rings on their fingers. Will their impulsive Vegas wedding give them a chance to start again, or will they go down in flames? I'm gonna pick this one. This one is just so up my alley. Like I said, I kind of bought the sports romance on a whim. I obviously didn't read the back, okay? I didn't realize there's gonna be a bit of miscommunication there. This sounds amazing. So, for the 8th and final prompt for what? A book that starts with the letter T, we've got The Partner Plot by Christina Forrest. All right, you guys, we have all 8 of our books, / we've got 11 books because we've got 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, yeah. We've got 11 books for the month, but of course we've got 8 books that we picked today. So I'll quickly go through each of the books to give you a summary of what we've got. So for a book set during Christmas, we have The Christmas Fix by Lucy Score. Let's put this in there so I don't forget. For a book that I think will be 5 stars, we have Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. For a book with a great first line, we have Cross the Line by Simone Soltani. I'm so excited. I'm still laughing about the back of this. Oh my God, can I just quickly say, sorry, I just opened this to put it in, and obviously I read the first line of the prologue, but the first line of like chapter 1 is, I've nearly set my apartment on fire again. It's gonna be so good. For a book that is over 500 pages, I've got Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. For a book with a one-word title, we have Taste by Melanie Harlow. Another one I'm so... This is a great TBR, you guys. I'm like super happy with this. For a book with my favorite trope in it, one of my favorite tropes, I've got The Nanny, which is our single dad and the nanny trope by Lana Ferguson. For a book with a place in the title, we have Juniper Hill by Devney Perry. I can't wait to continue on with this series, guys. I'm so excited. And finally, for our book that starts with a random letter, we got the letter T, and we have The Partner Plot by Christina Forrest. Alrighty, you guys, that is all for today's TBR video. Thank you guys so much for sticking through all the way to the end. If you did, I really appreciate it. What are you guys planning to read in November? As I said, I know a lot of you will start reading your like Christmassy holiday books starting in November, or are you just going to be, you know, sticking to what you know and what you love and then like looking at the Christmassy stuff in November? Or do you even read Christmas books? Let me know. As always, you guys, if you aren't already, you are more than welcome to follow me on TikTok and on Instagram. I will leave my handles on the screen and in the description box down below. And if you aren't already, feel free to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and make sure that you are hitting that notification bell, that way you're notified each time a brand new video goes up. It is obviously the end of the month and Halloween is in a few days. I'm so excited. So keep an eye out because the October reading wrap up will be coming. I know you guys love those videos. I love telling you guys about the books that I read this month, and it's been an interesting month, so I'm keen to yap about that with you guys. Thank you guys so much again, wherever you are in the world. I hope you have a lovely day or a lovely night, and I will see you all next time. Bye.